Welcome back to High Thoughts. So today, I just want to talk about how I quit my corporate job. As you can see, getting older, gray coming in. It's just tinting a little bit of gray. So, moves like this are pretty significant in your life when you're getting older. When you think you found that career, you're in a, corporate job, corporate setting, making good money. It's pretty hard to give it all up. But you got to do what's right for you. So for me, being in sales, I was a mortgage originator. So basically I was selling loans, getting people to refinance and things like that. Now, for the company I worked for, it's probably one of the largest mortgage lenders. Won't name them, but you can probably guess which one is the largest. So I was doing pretty well there overall. At first, they tell you, we're here to help people. You can make great money, things like that. It's your business. You can run it the way you want to. But when I started to really get into it, I noticed that, number one, it's not your business. So that's the first lie they tell you. You can run it however you want to. You can help all of these people who are really struggling, which, is a mission I can get down for. But when I really started getting into it, they really don't care about helping people. It's more about helping yourself at others' expense. So to do sales, and especially mortgages, you kind of have to be a shitty person. You got to put yourself first. Can't worry about, anyone else. Yeah, you really can't worry about anyone else. And I'm a pretty big numbers guy. So when it didn't make sense to me, I didn't want to push it on different clients. They didn't care, you say $5 a month, but it's costing you, $5,000. You're never going to get a return on that investment. But they didn't care. They just wanted you to keep pushing it, keep flipping people, basically, profits and the company over someone's actual finances. Now, that was some of the reason of why I quit. The other part of the reason was, I got tired of arguing with people. I'm trying to make your life better, and we're sitting here arguing about it. Like, if I can save you $2,000 a month, you put half of that $2,000 back into your mortgage. Now your home is paid off in 7 years versus the 30 you're currently projected for. So that's kind of why I had an issue as well. Like, I just got tired of talking to dumb people, man. If your life can be improved significantly and you're not sure about it, it just blew my mind. It's like, why wouldn't you do this? You would be in the best financial position you've ever been in your life. So then I came to the realization that a lot of people are dumb and they like to spend a lot of money. So some people rejected it because they were afraid of having extra money, because they feel like they would be in a worse position after, because they'll just spend the money again. Some people didn't believe it, even though the math is all there. I'm not understanding that part. And some people are just not good financially. So even if you present them a great financial option, they don't want it. That's why they have so much debt. And I'll tell you right now, most of the people in America are in debt. Very rarely did I run into someone who didn't have any debt and had a great credit score. Now, I've also ran into people who had so much debt and they were looking to refinance so they can buy more things. It's like, you should probably pay off what you have. I didn't even want them to refinance. But I guess that's why, I could have been doing better. But it was like, I guess I have a soul, and you can't work mortgages or sales and have a soul. It's not possible. You have to put yourself first, the company first, and the customer last. So that's not something I was willing to do. So that's kind of why I quit. It was just too much, man. They say it's a 9 to 5. It's not a 9 to 5. It's really 8 to 8 every day. And then you work weekends. It's like, come on, man, I got to live a life. They want every hour on the phone making money. It's like, I don't want to live like that. I like to have a work-life balance. It was just a lot. Now, some people are okay with that. They don't mind screwing someone else over as long as they get what they want. I am not that person. It was a 6-figure job. I couldn't do it anymore. Especially when it just doesn't feel right. If it doesn't feel good to me, I can't do it. I don't care how much money I'm making. I don't care about any of that. I want to live a good life, and I'm not willing to step on others to do that. I think I can do it on my own without harming others. I don't want to contribute to this world, because one day you're going to have to face God, and you're not going to be able to say, I was just doing my job. The cops out here extorting people, these companies extorting people, and it comes down to the workers, the employees. You guys are the problem. You're doing it. You're adding to the problem. These companies, the government, nobody can do anything without us. We are the actual hand that makes everything move. So they tell us what to do, but until you actually take that action and do it, it doesn't matter. Like, cops can be told, hey, go arrest everybody out there protesting. Until they decide to actually make that move, it doesn't matter. It's just words. They are the action. And I think the action is worse than the words, and everyone's going to have to atone and be accountable for all the actions they did. You're not going to get away with it. Like I said, you're not going to be able to get away with saying you were just doing your job. That's not going to fly. So I want to be able to, at the end of my life, look back and say that I'm proud of the way I lived. So that's why I couldn't do that. Now, on another video, I'll probably touch on what I'm currently doing now. You can kind of guess by where I'm at, but we'll talk about that another day. If anybody else had the same experience with corporate where they're, on you all day, micromanaging, forcing you to sell something you don't agree with, having you working from the morning to the night every day, no days off, and then expecting you to be happy about it, let me know. And then, they do these team building things. It's like, if you want me to sell, let me just work. I don't want to sit here on a video call trying to gaslight us, trying to indoctrinate us into this false reality that, it's not real. They just really want to beat it into your minds. You're doing good. You're helping people. Yes, keep going, keep going. And it's like, you're not. Most of the time, you're not. So I did, but, they were on me all the time about making more sales. But let me know if you've had similar experiences, or, maybe it was just my company. I did also go to another company after about a year after being off from that company. And I got to tell you, it was a lot better. It was harder because it was a smaller company, so they weren't as known. And they did have better pricing, so they were a lot more fair. And it seemed like they actually cared about helping people, because you can help people and make money. You can do that. Now, some companies don't care about helping. They just care about, getting as many clients as they can and as many numbers as they can. That's it. So I'd love to hear your guys' story on, what your work environment was like. Maybe you weren't even in corporate, but it was a similar thing where there's a lot of micromanaging. They're asking for more than they're actually giving, that kind of thing. So just let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts. All right, till next time.